Yo, what is going on guys? It's Yo and welcome to SoSerious Gaming, and today I kind of want to speak to you guys regarding the future of the Division. Now, the reason I've decided to do this video is partly because of what was mentioned in the latest state of the game, but also because there's been a lot of discussion on Twitter amongst myself and various other content creators, streamers, and just people of the Division community in general. And basically there's this topic at the moment in regards to loot and things like that, and when I was kind of thinking about what the devs said, in the sense that the Dark Zone is a PvPvE zone, so it's PvE and PvP, and they wanted people dying to NPCs to kind of even out with people dying to other people, so to speak. And that kind of got me thinking. This game is supposed to be a looter shooter, and if people are obviously killing players more than they're killing NPCs, this says to me that there's nothing for people to loot in order for them to keep killing NPCs. So that begged the question to me, did the Division fail at being a looter shooter? And it kind of didn't. I mean, when you look at the early days, you know, it was really hard to grind for. You really had to put in work, and it was a tough grind. Look back at the Dark Zone, back when a high end would drop once in a blue moon, and if somebody died and that high end dropped and there was various teams or players around, if somebody picked it up, that was it. World War III would be off, and everybody would just kill everyone until somebody was left alive in order to take that high end. And that, in my opinion, has been lost. Now that could be due to a number of things, and it's all opinion. This whole video is my opinion, so I'm not saying any of this is true, I'm not saying any of it's fact. This is all my opinion. Whether you agree or not, that's down to you, and that's the beauty of opinions. We all have them. So this got me to thinking, we now have gear sets. When you look back at 1.7, we had the gear sets. You had all the different gear sets that you could just put the 4 pieces together. And then you had the variations in what backpack and chest piece people would use. Some would use gloves over a chest piece, and so on and so forth. So you had diversity in that sense. But then you also had the high-end builds, the hexo builds, the ninja bike builds. So you had all this build diversity, you had all these different things that were viable and worth using, and 1.8 comes along and we go backwards in time. We now have 14 gear sets, and there's only 3 that people are using in PvP, and that's Striker, Nomad and Predator's Mark. So when you kind of take that into account, it's no longer a looter shooter. We have the global event, we loot during the global event, and then that's it. I mean, I opened 70 caches in this last global event. I completed 3 sets, and I need 1 piece for my final set, and I got my second house out of it too. So what incentive do I have to go in the Dark Zone and just farm NPCs and kill NPCs over and over again? What incentive do I have to go back and play Falcon's Lost or Clear Sky or Lexington for the 500,000th time? Or, you know, there's no incentive for me to go back and play those things that I've played over and over and over and over again when there's no loot for me to go and grind for. So what could they do in regards to possible year 3 or the Division 2 to keep this loot grind alive and, you know, keep endgame? Because they don't want endgame being PvP, they want endgame to be PvE. This is kind of what looter shooters want, you know. They want that end game to be that grind to improve your character and make him more powerful. And I don't feel like we've had enough of that. I mean, we're at the end of year 2, we're down to 14 classified sets. That's pretty weak. So what could they have done? Where could they have gone to improve that whole looter shooter experience? And now, one of the big things for me personally was the lack of real content. The DLCs, in my opinion, for me personally, were a little bit lackluster. Underground was okay, don't get me wrong, Underground was okay, but again, you end up, once you've gone through it and you've had all those different loops that it gives you, it gets repetitive. You start seeing the same path over and over, the same scenery over and over, and it's nothing new, and you don't get any gear out of it worth using. You know, if like me, you've done the global event and you've got pretty much everything you need, it's going to be duplicates. Exotic gear is now, it's kind of obsolete in my opinion. It's not worth using because you have the lower stat rolls and you can only roll one stat on there, whereas with classifieds it's a higher stat roll and you can roll 2 stats on there. So, you know, we need more gear. Basically, to put it bluntly, we need more gear. We need new guns, we need new gear sets. Whatever happened to Seeker, by the way? Like, we had all this talk about Seeker and then it just vanishes into thin air. Give us more gear sets. Obviously that's now going to have to be classified gear sets because of the classifieds that we have now. Bring the current exotic gear up in line with the classifieds so that it's worth grinding for them and they're actually much more viable than they currently are. But then we need new gear, so where do we go from there? What do we do? In my opinion, what I'd like to see is new exotic gear. So, you know, more exotic chest pieces, more exotic gloves, backpacks, different talents on those different things. I'd also like to see new classified sets. Obviously Seeker, you know, that was one that was hinted, a gear set that was hinted a while ago and we never seen it. So I'd like to see that. That would be awesome. But that got me thinking, is that really enough? You know, once you get those gear sets, is that going to cut it? Because at the end of the day, once you've got that gear, then where do you go from there? And this got me to thinking, when you look at the builds now and how they are compared to how they used to be, you know, you might have somebody who runs Banshee, Pred and Tactician with a ninja bike. You might have somebody who just runs a flat out 4-piece Banshee with specialized backpack and vigorous chest piece, or specialized backpack and savage gloves. You know, you had these different builds and different things that people could use, and now we've just gone to 6 sets. And when you look at a build such as Predator's Mark, there's only one way to spec it. Go 9k into stamina, and then everything else focus on crit chance and crit damage to maximize the amount of damage you do out of that bleed, and that is it. There's no diversity to the build whatsoever. There's one way to build it and there's one way to use it, and that is that. And all the current gear sets are pretty much the same. You have D3, spec it all into stamina. Put some shield resistance mods, ballistic shield damage resilience mods, I'll get my words out eventually. And go 9k stamina and around 121k skill power, I think it is on mine, and that's it, it's max health. There's only one way to build it. I mean, I know Strikers you can build it slightly differently, but again, it's still one build. Same with Nomad, you can build it slightly differently in the balance you have with firearms and stamina, but again, it's still just a 6-piece build. There's not really much variation to it. So this got me thinking, how can we switch that up? How can we change it? How can we do something that is, it might only be subtle, but it will change how people do their builds and create a bit more diversity. So what I got to thinking was exotic gear mods, exotic weapon mods, classified gear mods, classified weapon mods, you know, something different. And the way they could work could be just an example. You got your stamina mod with crit chance, you get stamina, 266 stamina with 1% crit chance, just a ballpark number. Then you have a classified gear mod, which will give you, let's just say, I don't know, 286 stamina, but only 0.5% crit chance, but it'll give you an armor buff, you know, a small amount of armor. And, you know, you could go, if you go up to 6 of them, maybe it gives you a slightly bigger armor buff for having 6 matching classified mods. The same could be said with weapon mods, you know, if you have your weapon mods and they're all part of, say, the same class, you get an extra talent on your gun or something, you know. But it's only specific for those specific gear mods, weapon mods or whatever, you know. There's so many different things they could do to keep the grind alive, create more build diversity and make PvE worth doing. Because for me right now, the only incentive I have to play this game is that PvP experience that only the Dark Zone can give me. Skirmish is just a 4v4 TDM, and honestly it's quite boring, and matchmaking ruins it for me in the sense of going up against 4 level 99s and then having 3 level 5s on my team, and they get no kills between them, and that's not fun, so I just don't touch it. The Dark Zone for me is where it's at. That element of unknown, the PvP experience, the ability to go 1v10 and potentially come out on top. That's what I love about the Dark Zone, and nothing else will ever give me that. But at the same time, it would be nice to be able to step away from that, chill out, enjoy the game, enjoy a little bit of PvE grinding, and get something that I may need, something that may help, something that may allow me to build my build in a different way to what I am doing, you know, so I can switch it up. We're really lacking loot at the moment, and that, in my opinion, is a big problem for a looter shooter. How can you go out shooting things and looting if there's nothing to actually loot for? Most of my PvE is now helping subs grind, going and helping subs do a little bit of farming from time to time. That's my PvE experience, because I don't need it. Nothing I get is of any help to me. And obviously we play games for our own enjoyment, our own entertainment, and if I can't go out and grind and enjoy PvE because I'm going to get that excitement of getting something I actually need or want, then I'm not getting that enjoyment when I'm helping other people farm. I enjoy helping people farm, I enjoy helping people out, but at the same time it would be nice, if I'm doing that, to perhaps have something to grind for myself and say, hey, if I get this, this and this, I don't need it, man. I know you do, so that's yours. But if I get this, I really need this for my build. So if I get this, I'm gonna have to keep it, you know. And I can't do that. So yeah, in my opinion, what we need from the Division developers in the future for Year 3 or the Division 2, whatever it is that is to come, we need new gear. We need exotics, we need new classified sets, we need a new tier of gear mods, a new tier of weapon mods, we need new weapons, we need new loot. You can't just give us new loot once every 6 months and it'll only be a handful of things, and then increase the drop rates on it and give us global events and these different ways to make the grind much easier, and essentially just throw loot at us like it's nothing, and then expect us to keep grinding PvE and killing NPCs when you've already thrown everything at us in such a short space of time. So that's my opinion on the matter. You guys comment below, let me know what you think. What is your incentive to play the game right now? Is it the PvE grind? Is it the PvP experience? You know, what is it? Let me know what it is and why that's your incentive to play. And comment below as well, let us know what you think in the sense of what would you like to see in the future for helping that grind stay alive. Would you like to see new gear sets, new exotics, new gear mods, new weapon mods, all that kind, you know, let me know. I'm going to do my very best to get this video in the attention of Massive and the developers, and I want them to see your guys, I want them to see you guys drop your comments below and what you guys want, because at the end of the day, I'm only one person, and my opinion doesn't matter in the, you know, the sense of I'm one person within this whole community. So you guys voice your opinions, and I'll do my best to get it to the developers, and hopefully they can have a look through and see what you guys are saying, see what you guys want, what is your incentive to grind for, and what would keep that incentive for you to keep grinding missions and keep looting. So make sure you comment below, guys. Let me know. I'm interested to see, and obviously discussion's good. Differing opinions can sometimes create the best ideas. You know, you get that middle ground, and that is the best idea you can create. So discuss below, guys. Get involved with one another. Get involved with me. I'll do my best to comment with you guys, and we'll create some real good discussion and get some really good ideas going out there, and let's try and create something the developers can really work with and drive forward with, and give us, the players, something we can really enjoy and be grateful for. Once again, guys, you guys are always incredible. We are now past 6.5k. The grind for 7k is well and truly underway. Make sure you smash that like button, and again, comment below with what you think, what you want to see, and all that stuff. Make sure you comment below. I can't emphasize that enough. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you in another video. Peace.